Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
It's a new competition to crown the world shooting champion. A group fighting for the rights of U.S. sportsmen, a new IWB holster with a Facebook giveaway, and more. Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. To be on the air, call now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Here's Tom.
Oh, man, a lot of things going on. We're going to be talking about guns, gun rights, assaults on gun rights, because they are coming left and right. Honestly, I've been doing this for a long, long time. I've never seen as many assaults on gun owners and gun rights. And don't make any mistake about it. Many of these assaults are on gun owners, you and me. That would be you, your wife, your husband, your children, anybody who owns a gun. We're all under assault right now, particularly from the media and from a lot of politicians. But it's amazing, the assaults from the media. We also have people who are saying, well, gun owners, of course, have no right of privacy. You have no expectation of privacy if you're a gun owner. Excuse me? Yeah, oh yeah, if you own a gun, according to some politicians, you have no right to privacy. According to some in the media, we'll just publish your name, your address, what you own, any piece of information we can get on you. We will expose you to robbery, to assault, because, well, heck, after all, you're a gun owner. You don't count for much. We have assaults in the media in the form of a series of articles in Rolling Stone magazine. Now, make no mistake about it. You may shrug and go, yeah, who cares, Rolling Stone? But it has impact. It has sway. People pay attention. Whether or not it makes any sense, and it doesn't. Whether or not there's any truth in it, and there isn't. A series of articles in Rolling Stone is a launching pad for other media to pick this stuff up and run with it. And also, frankly, for gun control groups, anti-gun rights groups to pick it up. Already, Mark Kelly, Gabrielle Gifford's husband, Americans for Responsible Gun Ownership, whatever they call their group, he's already saying, well, according to this article in Rolling Stone, Larry Pratt wants to assassinate Congress people, members of Congress. Larry Pratt of the Gun Owners of America. I'm going, are you serious? And they are. And they're saying, because of this, you need to send us at least $5. It is amazing. The problem is, if there were any logic in the world, you would just shrug it off and go, oh, who cares? It's just silly stuff. But the problem is, it's believed by the public. And we will be talking about this before too long, a little later in the show, about why what the media says is important, because it affects public opinion. And public opinion is what drives action in legislatures and in Congress. And public opinion is what sways referendums when you get to vote on things. So if the public is simply badly and purposefully misinformed, they will make bad choices because they're working on bad information. Very important stuff. We're also going to be talking about assault on hunters. Unbelievable. We have, I don't know what it is. Talk about your war on women. When men post pictures online of the trophies they have gotten hunting, nobody cares. If it's a really attractive woman, she gets assaulted. It has happened over and over again with death threats of people saying, I hope you get raped. I hope that your children get murdered. I know where you live. The young cheerleader out of Texas, a host of a popular television series. More and more women, attractive women who post pictures of their hunts. They get thousands and tens of thousands of rants, of threats, of people saying Facebook should ban them from Facebook. They never do that to men, did you notice? What is that about? Is that not some kind of leftist war on women? It's hard to figure out. And by the way, just to remind you, we are giving away very cool stuff this month. I mean, if you go to our website, guntalk.com/win, remember we are giving away this incredible Nosler rifle. It's a 26 Nosler giveaway. It is the Nosler Patriot rifle and 26 Nosler, 5 boxes of Nosler Trophy grade ammo and 26 Nosler, a loophole scope with loophole rings and bases, and then each week we're giving away a bunch of stuff. Just go to guntalk.com/win. That will get you in there. Let's go to the phones now. Line 3, Justin's with us out of Granite City, Illinois. Hello, Justin.
Hello, sir.
How can we help you?
Well, I had 2 quick comments to make to you, and I'll let you get back to work. First of all, I wanted to thank you for making there was a Gun Talk episode on concealed carry about why people do it and why you should, so on and so forth. And I live here in Illinois, and my wife, she had some issues and just didn't understand why I wanted to do it and why I want to do it every day. Mm-hmm. And I sat her down, and all I did, I asked her, said, please just take 30 minutes and watch the show with me. And she did. And by the end of it, she understood.
Wow. What was it
that thank you for doing that.
Well, what was it that got her attention? What connected with her?
Well, I think a lot of it was the fact that, when you talked about how get it out of your mind of what it's going to look like. Because it could happen, in an upscale neighborhood at at a grocery store. It could happen on the corner at night, when you're walking out of a movie theater. It could happen anywhere. Mm-hmm. And, I told her it's the cheapest insurance or the cheapest life insurance policy you can have. And I've said that to her multiple times. But watching you discuss it, why we do it, it kind of set it, the last nail that really set it in place for her.
Wow. Just for those who don't know, we're talking about our Gun Talk television show, which you can see on YouTube now. It is, if you go to YouTube and just look for Gun Talk television, you'll see it there. And it's a show we did on concealed carry. And I did a bunch of little stand-up, just me in front of a camera talking about various things. Should you intervene? Should you get involved? Why do you carry? Who do you tell if you're carrying? I mean, who do you share that information with? That kind of a thing. I'm really glad it connected, Justin. That's pretty cool.
It really made a difference, and it's helped her to really understand, that I know it's a tedious task of having to change my wardrobe and having to, for my birthday. The other thing I was actually going to tell you about was for my birthday, my folks bought me a concealed carry rig, a holster, mag carrier, and a belt. Mm-hmm. And that's also what I want to thank you about was. I've heard you say multiple times, well, you need a gun belt, dummy. Well, it is a night and day difference. It has allowed me to carry a Glock 30 at a good caliber, and it's a heavy gun, but it's lighter than 1911, and to have it disappear, and, I forget about it. Mentally I know it's there, but physically I forget about it. But those 2 things have really helped me out in the past couple of weeks.
Well, it is. It's hard to explain to somebody what a difference going from just a dress belt or a belt you would get at a clothing store to a gun belt. It makes such a huge difference. And once you try it, you go, wow, everything tell me this, doesn't everything feel more comfortable? Even though you're wearing a bigger and heavier gun, it's now more comfortable.
Right, it is, and I went through a small town company in Utah named is Concealment Solutions. Mm-hmm. And even an 1.5-inch wide belt, I didn't have to go 1 3/4, which I could have. But just with it being so much thicker and better quality, it's not dragging down my pants. It's not flopping around or nothing.
That's it. It's just, and an 1.5 inch is fine as long as the belt is thick. And for those who say, well, I'll just go to the store and buy a thick belt. No, you have to get a gun belt. Now, they don't have to look goofy. They look fine, but they will make everything work. That's the basis. That's the foundation for your system. Now, you build your holster and your mag pouch and your gun on having a good gun belt. It makes all the difference. Hey, Justin, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing that information. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the assault on women hunters, that is. It is unbelievable what's going on. 866-TALK-GUN. I'll be right back.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SIG-TAC accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit sigsauer.com today.
Inaccurate is just plain worthless. Doesn't matter if you're shooting for a national championship or just trying to beat your friend. You need accurate ammo. Nosler's match-grade handgun ammunition delivers. You get Nosler sporting handgun and custom competition bullets in Nosler head-stamped brass, loaded to the same strict tolerances as Nosler's match-grade rifle ammo. Handgun accuracy through match-grade ammo. Available in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit Nosler.com.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Thanks for being one of the 100 million gun owners in America who support Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Even if you don't want to be on the air, you can still email Tom with your questions or concerns at tom@guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, before we bring on our guest, I do want to get Jim in here. He's on line 1 out of Elwood, Nebraska. Jim, you're on Gun Talk. You got a question for us?
Yes. Your videos for training, your self-defense training, do they apply to revolvers as well as semi-automatics?
Absolutely. Now, the people who are doing our training videos, they're using semi-autos because that's the preferred handgun platform for most people these days. But the principles all apply in terms of the draw, the shooting, how you move, all the rest of it. Of course, with a revolver, you don't have to practice your malfunction drills because you're probably not going to have a malfunction. And if you do, there's not much you can do about it with a revolver. So you can leave that part out. But absolutely, our videos certainly apply. And by the way, those are all available at online at shopguntalk.com.
All right. I do not have a computer. I do not go online. Is there an 800 number?
No, there's not, as a matter of fact. But let's see. I might be able to tell you what I do. You keep listening. I'm going to drag it up because I don't even remember our phone number off just without looking it up. But I'll see if I can get you a phone number. And hold on just a second. Here it is. All right, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
All right, it is 985 792 7670. That's 985-792-7670. You call that number and you can order it that way too.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
All right, appreciate that. All right, I mentioned that there's this war on women underway, and it's weird because it's from the anti-hunter left wing, which normally they would say that the right wing is having the war on women. But in this case, if a woman, particularly an attractive woman, posts a picture of her with her hunting trophies, she just gets assaulted. Well, it's wrong, it's bias, it's hateful, and joining us to talk about that right now is the president and CEO of the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance, I would say the leading group that protects hunters and hunters' rights in the country, Nick Pinizzotto. Hey, Nick, how you doing?
Good. How are you today?
I am good. I'm watching this continuing assault on women, and you don't see that kind of thing when men post pictures of their hunting trophies, do you?
No, you don't, and I think it's a large part of that is sort of a tribute to the number of women hunters that we now have coming into our sport. The anti-hunting crowd, they see that those numbers are increasing annually. We're getting more and more young ladies who want to go out into the field and learn about hunting, and it scares them because, number one, it's not typical. It's just not your typical Bubba, if you will, out there.
It's hard to demonize them.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
And the other thing is, our numbers are very strong, and they show that, when the father in the home hunts, there's a good chance that the children are going to hunt. But when mother decides to hunt as well, now you're talking almost 100% chance that those kids are going to hunt. And that is very contrary to the agenda of the anti-hunting crowd. And also, women tend to be more politically motivated, more politically active. They vote. And it's just a really bad thing for the anti-hunters to have women be excited about hunting like men are, because then that makes their job, that much more difficult.
I'm not exaggerating this when I say that these women are actually getting death threats, am I?
Oh, absolutely not. Ironically, I'm out here in the beautiful hills of Pennsylvania today training a couple folks on filming whitetail hunts, and one of them happens to be a young woman who's hunting for the first time and also wants to film the experience. And that's really interesting to me, because 10 years ago you never would have seen that type of thing. But now, you're seeing it. You're seeing the excitement and the interest. And, this is why you're seeing the attacks, and they escalate to death threats because they think that they can intimidate, young women in particular out of the sport. But, they hope that they'll say, well, you know what, this just isn't worth it. But, I'm not really seeing that either. We had a case where a young woman by the name of Carissa Argus out of Colorado earlier this year got attacked by anti-hunters because she posted a picture of a mountain lion that she shot.
Right.
And she is literally your rank and file hunter. I always wanted to get a mountain lion. It was a dream hunt for her. It's a very difficult hunt, and she got one. And when she got attacked, she didn't run and hide. She kind of fought back. We worked very closely with her. Mm-hmm. And I think that sent a good message that, yes, I might be a woman out here hunting, but I'm certainly not going to let you dictate to me, what I can do in my life. So, we were really proud of her, and we think we're going to see that continue.
Nick, I'm just thinking, as you're talking, it occurs to me that this assault on women hunters is sexist on two different levels. One is that, of course, it's only on women and not on men. But the other, to your point where you say, well, the idea is to intimidate them into running away, the idea that, women would run away, that mindset, that in itself is sexist.
Absolutely. Yeah, and it's hypocritical, obviously.
Sure.
You got mixed messages there. And, the bottom line for these people is they just want to stop hunting. They don't want to understand what it's all about. And they're fearful that when they see, more and more women entering the sport, there's nothing more American, as you know, than to be able to walk out, with your gun, your fire, your gun or your bow, whatever, mm-hmm. and go out and harvest an animal and put that animal on your table, feed your family, feed others, and also be managing wildlife and being a conservationist. To me, that goes all the way back to Teddy Roosevelt, one of the greatest Americans who, foresaw the need for conservation. Mm-hmm. And for a group of uninformed people to come along now and think that it's okay because they disagree with your lifestyle, that it's okay for them to ridicule you, threaten you, your life, the lives of your family members, to me is just sickening, and, we're kind of tired of it, and we're working on a lot of things to do something about it.
Well, tell people about USSA, U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance, and what you guys do and how you're helping on this.
Absolutely. So the United States Sportsmen's Alliance has been around for 36 years now. We're the only organization in the country with the sole mission to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping in the United States. And we get involved in all types of issues from the state level to the federal level. Any issue, frankly, that's going to impact hunters or outdoors people, we're going to get involved in it. We, right now, because of the anti-hunting situation, the harassment that we're talking about, we're actually going to have a pretty key meeting on Tuesday. We've launched we call it a hunter advancement task force because we think it's advancing hunting, but a big part of it is to work on, the protection of our hunters out there. There are laws in all 50 states that are hunter harassment laws that protect hunters during the hunt Well, now we want to work on expanding those laws to make so that they can help protect hunters after the hunt, which would include the cyberbullying that you see now. So, yeah, absolutely. And it needs to be done. And like I said, we're kind of tired of seeing this happen, and we need to stand up and do something about it. And we have some really key people that are going to work with us on that. Melissa Bachman is one of them. Jana Waller, Skullbound TV, Dallas Safari Club, Ben Carter had the whole issue with the rhino auction there back in January. So we have really the top people in the country that want to come together and work with us to protect our hunters, advance our sport. And again, hunters are the true conservationists, and we need to get that message out to mainstream America.
I want to throw two things in I want people to know. One is that you mentioned hunters are the true conservationists. Toward that end, I want people to understand hunters pay for conservation. Almost all the dollars that go toward conservation in the United States, and a lot of the dollars that go to conservation worldwide, come from hunters' wallets that they gladly pay. We actually ask to be taxed ourselves on ammunition and on guns. All that money goes toward that. But the other thing I want people to understand, I want to get this out very clearly. I have been a supporter of U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance for decades. I think you guys are now and always have been in the forefront. You are, frankly, in my view, the most effective group in terms of protecting hunters' rights and literally protecting hunters in the field. You were in the lead on getting hunter protection laws passed in all 50 states, and I just want to send out my personal attaboy and thanks for everything you guys do.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that, and I'll tell you, frankly, we see it as our responsibility. Almost everybody on our entire staff are very passionate outdoors people. They care deeply about the issues. The people that are our members that support us care deeply about the issues. And, to be quite honest about it, I wish that we didn't have a need to exist. I wish that we didn't have to deal with these people. Yeah. But unfortunately, we do have to exist, and I hope that sportsmen, you just want to go out there and hunt. We understand that. But we ask that you take a few moments and think about, what if I didn't have this opportunity? What if you took the outdoors out of my life? And, we need memberships and support so that we can keep doing what we're doing.
I agree. Let me just send people there. It's ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org. Nick, thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing, man. It's working for you, and I appreciate it. You have my complete support, man.
Thanks so much for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. ussportsman.org. When we come back, let's talk about IDPA, action shooting, and how many dollars does that contribute to the economy?
Have you taken your family, friends, and kids shooting lately?
You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, and we'll be right back. Want to be a guest on the show? Drop us a line at info@guntalk.com. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, welcome back to Gun Talk. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. 866-825-5486. If you're simple like I am, I can't remember all those numbers. Just dial 1, Tom Talk Gun. Now, I don't usually do birthdays here, okay? I mean, everybody's got a birthday. But this one's different. I get this email from this lovely lady, Kimba, about her mother. Her mother's she's going to have a birthday on the 27th of July. She's going to turn 87. She lives in Lawrence, Kansas. Kimba writes, I have a mom who will be 87 on July 27th this year. She lives in Lawrence, Kansas. My husband and I kind of pushed her just a little when we went to visit her. We live in Yakima, Washington. She wanted to see a pawn shop, and there was a sign there that said, sign up for your CCW class. So she did. We bought her the holster and belt. She had everything else. She has a Charter Arms .38 revolver. A few months ago, in April, she took a concealed carry weapons permit class. She was so excited when she passed. It was an 8-hour course, not just a written test, but shooting targets also. Everyone else in the class were in their 30s. So, Winnie Mahura, happy birthday, happy 87th. Congratulations on getting your concealed carry permit. Out outstanding. I just, that is such a great story. I love that one. Let me at this point bring in a really good friend of ours. Paul Erhardt is one of the best writers, one of the best observers, best thinkers in the world of gun rights and also competition. Paul, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Tom. You give me too much praise, though.
You're right, I do. You're not that good.
Exactly.
Well, Paul and I have known each other a long, long time, worked on a lot of different projects together at various companies and gun rights groups, and you probably stay as well on top of the situation for both gun rights and competition, which is kind of a wide thing to straddle here, because those are two very different groups.
Yeah, definitely, but, the gun rights issues hit us 24/7. You can't wake up, turn on the computer and not see some news story, particularly with this administration, that isn't coming, full force right at you. And, right. We've had to address that within our own community at times, unfortunately. And, the good thing for us is there are a lot of, very good voices, yours, our good friend Michael Bain, Jim Shepard of the Outdoor Wire, and others who speak up forcefully and, quite coherently on why we need to do what we do on a daily basis to protect our gun rights. On the competition side, that's the recreational aspect of what we do that so few people understand and don't really appreciate, but that's pretty big news. I mean, ask me how fast IDPA has grown.
Hey, Paul, how fast has IDPA grown?
Tom, I'm so glad you asked. We just did worked with NSSF, great folks at the research department at NSSF, and I know you're very familiar with their work on the economic impact of hunters and shooters. Right. We asked them to help with looking at what IDPA members do. Because the competition shooter represents kind of the super user, if you will. A gun owner may go buy a gun, and that's it, one and done, so to speak. Wrap it up somewhere, hopefully with a lock on it, in the house, a safe location. But the competition shooter tends to spend a great deal of money over the course of their lifetime as a customer. And in IDPA, it has been exploding. And this kind of dovetails off of your story about the 87-year-old woman getting her CCW. It's a defensive pistol shooting sport designed around concealed carry. In 2008, at the end of that year, they only had 13,700 members. Fast forward to the end of 2013, 5 years later, and they have grown 69% to where we're standing at 23,100 members at the end of 2013. And those members in the United States, we polled with NSSF, got about a 28% response rate to the survey that was done, so it's very accurate numbers. Upwards of 30 million in economic impact, and about 91% of all U.S. or IDPA members in the U.S., in the United States, have a CCW. All
right, let me ask you, first of all, the IDPA is International Defensive Pistol Association. It is an organization. It puts on these sanctioned meets, and they're all over the country. You can go, and you can compete on a serious level, which is almost quasi-gaming, or you can say, look, I'm just going to do what I want to do that's about concealed carry and get better at concealed carry. And the people will open their arms to you and welcome you in and help you out. It's just a great, inviting, welcoming group. Let me ask you the obvious question is, why the growth?
I think it is driven incredibly by the demand for concealed carry permits. As we've seen the numbers increase on CCWs, and we've seen a proliferation of great small carry guns from all the major manufacturers and some smaller manufacturers as well. I mean, there's a plethora of guns to choose from now. You're seeing a lot of people come into their own personal protection with a CCW, and IDPA allows them an opportunity to work on those skills and develop the skills needed to be more efficient as a concealed carry holder. In fact, the survey found that about almost 58% of the members got into the sport to improve their self-defense skills. So while you see this, you see plenty of, a wide variety of guns being made for them. Any color, flavor, size, caliber, format, you name it, it's all out there for you. Plenty of great holsters from several brilliant manufacturers. And now there's a sport in which to put those skills to the test and work on the development. And that's really the bulk of the members. They're not the super squad guys, the great shooters of the world that we think and we hear about all the time. They don't make up the bulk of any of the sports. It's always the average shooter like me, who's actually a below average shooter, and a lot of other folks are out there just having a good time.
And I want to recommend to people, if they're not getting the Shooting Wire, which is free, it just appears in your email box. You should sign up for the Shooting Wire because you write for the Shooting Wire, and your writing is both informative and wildly funny. Sometimes when you don't even mean it to be funny, Paul, I got to tell you.
I can master a typo better than anybody else. Trust me.
Well, when you're writing about your adventures in competition shooting, and as you say, you're not a Robbie Latham or a Max Michel or any of those guys, but none of us are those guys. There are only like 6 of them. That's why we know their names.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think the funny thing is everybody who's not in the industry wants to be in the industry because they think that it's an opportunity to shoot all the time. And the sad reality is that when you come into the industry, you end up working all the time, and you have very little opportunity to shoot as much as you'd like. So you're not spending all your free time at the range, practicing and such. And I actually get very little opportunity to shoot with, ammo availability the last 2 years being what it was, made it even more difficult. So I went into my last match, the IRC, on a wing and a prayer.
Hey, hold that thought a second, Paul. We'll come back. We're going to talk about that. And also, tell them a little bit more about IDPA, getting involved, and what you get out of it as a concealed carry holder, what kind of training you can get. And is there actually really training available in competition? We'll talk about that when we come back.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
Tired of overpaying for one concealed carry holster after another that is flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? At Alien Gear Holsters, less than $30 gets you a professional quality holster that's super stealthy and ultra comfortable. Every Alien Gear holster is backed by a forever warranty, a 30-day test drive, and free shell trades for life in case you buy a different gun. AlienGearHolsters.com. AlienGearHolsters.com.
Sign up for our Gun Talk newsletter and join the Truth Squad at www.guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, we're talking with Paul Erhardt. If you want to read a lot more from Paul, just subscribe to the Shooting Wire. It's free. It shows up in your email box 3 times a week. Just go to shootingwire.com. Paul, we're talking about IDPA, International Defensive Pistol Association. And I look at that and I say, look, you will come for the training, but you'll stay for the fun. There is good training available in shooting IDPA, is there not?
Yes, but it is not training as we think of training. Training is I take a class with a formal instructor, and they teach me what I'm doing wrong and help me improve my skills. Competition, regardless of what it is kind of an elevated, more social practice, if you will. You can go to the gun range by yourself, stand on the line, and practice your skill set. But if you do it in the context of competition, and in this case, IDPA, then you're doing it with the added pressure of a timer. You're doing it with the added pressure of having to move and have scenarios that you have to think through and react to. And you're doing it with the added pressure of your friends around you. But
right.
Well, exactly. I mean, if I'm shooting on a squad with you, my grave concern is I don't perform poorly, so I don't hear about it on Gun Talk Radio on Sunday. But at the same time, it's a great, while there is a lot of pressure in that context, which is what helps you improve your shooting skill, it is a great opportunity and for fellowship and friendship, and the camaraderie of the shooting sports is really, that's part of the growth factor. In fact, the survey that was done, the average member shoots about 14 matches, IDPA matches, a year.
Wow.
So they're doing more than one a month. And there are some who are doing upwards of 20 or 30 matches a year. And that's a lot of time on the range, but it's to their benefit.
Well, it is. And if you want to know more about IDPA, it's real easy on the web. It's idpa.com. It's for International Defensive Pistol Association, idpa.com. You can find out where they're having matches. You can sign up. You don't have to be a member to go to a match. But you can sign up there. They'll get you started. Basically, it's just real easy to get involved.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for a more rounded experience in the way you practice with your CCW gun, IDPA is certainly the avenue to go down because it's about concealment. It's about carrying that gun on your hip in a context of a theoretical real-life situation, and that's what you're presented with. So
with
it's a
concealment.
Fantastic opportunity. Yeah, with
exactly.
Concealment, absolutely.
Paul, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing all this, and I just want to recommend again people read. Now they can read you on Shooting Wire. Where else can they see what you're up to?
Pretty much the Shooting Wire is Jim Shepard's the only man foolish enough to let me have space on the internet. So
there is that.
He lets me write on Wednesdays, and on occasion on a Friday you'll find my stuff on the Shooting Wire, which is about the most. And every once in a while I get a piece printed a couple other places. But Jim's got me working almost weekly on the articles there.
Well, good deal. I'm glad to hear you found work, my friend. No, listen, you take care, Paul's good friend. I got to quickly run. Renee has been on hold for a long time on line 2. Renee, we got a minute for you. Dive in, please.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? I wanted to ask you, you being the optic guru, I wanted to get an optic for my AR-15 and something maybe in the 250 range. What do you recommend?
What's the range you want to shoot at?
Well, about maybe 150 yards.
Would you consider a red dot sight?
Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for.
Well, I mean, there are certainly some red dot sights out there. Also, you could take a look at a zero magnification, like a 1X scope, one of the scopes that goes from 1 to 4, something like that. The problem is when you put the $250 limit on it, you start to get a little bit restrictive. But just do some searching. But I would suggest probably for out to 100, 150 yards, think of red dot. And I really am a fan of those variables that start at 1 or 1.5 and go to 4, because down at 1 you can shoot both eyes open, you can shoot fast, and you can, if need to, you can crank it up and you can shoot at pretty long ranges. All right, 866-TALK-GUN, open lines. You can call us if you got a range report. We'd love to hear it.
You don't have to agree with Tom to participate in the show. Call now with any of your concerns about guns, gun rights, or particular firearms, or suggestions for your shooting activity or personal protection. 1-866-825-5486. Gun Talk is coming right back.
All right, back with you. 866 Talk Gun. We'll get you in here in Detroit, a town not known for being crime-free. Very interesting. Fed up with crime, some armed Detroiters, the story says, have developed itchy trigger fingers. Now, you always know that you're having fun with an anti-gun media when they say itchy trigger fingers. But the story is actually pretty interesting because what you've got is Detroit Police Chief James Craig says, quote, criminals are getting the message that good Detroiters are armed and will use that weapon. In other words, Detroiters are shooting the bad guys. He has repeatedly, the chief has repeatedly said, he believes armed citizens deter crime. Quote, I don't want to take away from the good work our investigators are doing, but I think part of the drop in crime, and robberies in particular, is because criminals are thinking twice that citizens could be armed. He continues, I can't say what specific percentage is caused by this, but there's no question in my mind it has had an effect. This is the chief of police of Detroit saying that when good people have guns, and when good people use their guns for self-defense, and when good people use their guns to stop crime, it has an effect on crime. Not just the immediate stopping of that particular crime, but he's saying it has a deterrent effect because word gets around among the criminals that you could get shot. This has become a more dangerous line of work, perhaps dissuading them from this line of work and encouraging them to go do something else, anything else. I don't care. I don't care if they just sit around and twiddle their thumbs as long as they're not out robbing people. So, very interesting in Detroit, again, not known as a particularly conservative city, particularly the politics of it, where the police chief has the courage to say this. Now, in California, we have a not big surprise. The Governor, Jerry Brown, has announced he's going to sign Assembly Bill 1964. Essentially, there has been an exemption in California on the roster. You know, they have believe it or not, they have a roster there of guns, handguns, which can be sold. The list is called the not unsafe handguns. They don't want to say they're the safe handguns because they don't want to say that any gun is safe. So these are the not unsafe. But there was a way that a target pistol could get through if it was a single shot. And so people were essentially converting their semi-autos to single shots, buying them, and then deconverting them back to full operation. It was certainly a legal loophole, and it was used by a lot of people. They are closing that up and saying that goes into effect January 1, 2015. So if you're in California and you want to get in a gun that's not on the handgun roster, you can still do that until January the 1st. It is perfectly legal to do this. Find a gun dealer who will work with you on this. I have helped a number of people do this. It's not breaking the law. It's actually using the law. It's complying with the law. But the thing to understand about this is that the rules that they have passed in California on this roster mean that there are going to be fewer and fewer and fewer handguns that are going to be on this roster. Mike Pfeiffer, the CEO of Ruger, has said he believes that in 2 years there will be no handguns legally available for sale in California. Let me say that again. The CEO of Ruger says that in California he believes that there will be no handguns on the official handgun roster in 2 years. In other words, there will be no handguns approved for purchase in the state of California in 2 years because of the rules that they have passed there. For those of you who say, well, why should I get involved? I don't live in California. You think that's not coming to you? Why? I don't need to belong to the NRA. I don't need to do that. I just want to go to the trap range and shoot. I just want to hunt. Not my problem. Yeah, right. Until it is. Unbelievable the way some people have their heads in the sand. When we come back, we're going to be talking about scopes, holsters, and the things you want to talk about. 866 Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.